I think pictures are pretty amazing. They help guys like me that don't have very good memory, for sure. You see a picture, and to me, you're instantly drawn to that moment of when that picture was taken. I married a photographer, so I've got a ton of pictures in my house, and it's really nice to look up on the wall and just remember that time in your life. Ever since I started filming these hunts, I've also started taking a lot of pictures myself. And And I've got pictures from harvest, pictures from, landscapes, pictures of my buddies. I started to kind of see this pattern, and I didn't really notice it at first, but I didn't have any pictures with my very first hunting partner. So it's been about 5 years now since I've hunted with my dad, and I think part of the reason why, we haven't been able to go out is because of, all the filming that I do now with Top Priority Hunting. We like to film in the craziest places, especially the backcountry, and it's a little bit harder for him to kind of go on those hunts.
It's gotten harder for me because the older you get, it's harder to go up and down the hills. And Justin, he can go and go and go.
We're in search of adventure, where he's wanting to go on easier hunts now that he's getting older.
Found a way to exercise without going to a gym, and that was riding a bicycle. It's an 8-mile ride to work, and then I'd stretch it out either 12 to 20 miles on the way home, depending on how I feel in the weather. I've actually rode this last year over 3,500 miles, and got in really good shape so I could go on this hunt with Justin.
What's cool about hunting where we do, this is a place that we've grown up hunting, and we know exactly where to call. And we started up in the morning, and I let out a bugle, and right away, both bugles.
He's a hog. Yeah. How far do you think he is? 400 yards.
We just couldn't get him to, he kept moving away from us instead of coming to us.
And it's just like a bugling battle. I'm going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's just not really working out, and bull hangs up. He's down there for probably close to 30 minutes, kind of loses interest, and then he heads down through the canyon, and you can hear him bugling further and further and further away.
He was down in there, just on the other side of this crab right there. That tall crab. When I was up there.
So basically, after the bull wandered off down the hill, we worked our way down the hill too.
We start eating lunch, and I'm like scanning the trees, and I look, sure enough, there's the bull. So he's on the other side of the hill, bedded down, looking right at us.
And we watched him for a couple hours. And this was like in the middle of the day.
Into the evening hours, bull gets up and he works his way around the corner. So I get my dad, we gear up, and we drop down in the canyon, work our way around, and we go around the corner right where that bull was headed. And I let out a bugle, and boom, he fires off. So this time I'm thinking to myself, I gotta get back a little bit further. I gotta make sure that bull comes past my dad so he can actually get a shot. Next thing I know, my dad's pulling back, and I'm just in a frantic. I'm going back and forth, trying to see if I can see the bull through the viewfinder. I'm back on my dad. He's full draw, like he's gonna shoot any time. When's it gonna happen?
Bull stops broadside in between two trees, and I let her fly.
And you just hear this arrow skip, and didn't sound like the whack. Get up to him, and he was kind of unsettled, and I didn't know if he had just blown the shot or what had happened. But
And as you started in that, drew back again, but he kept on going. And then he stopped broadside right there between those two trees.
he showed me where he shot, and he was basically trying to shoot through these two trees. And I got to looking, and sure enough, there was like one or two little twigs that were hanging down right in the middle.
I'd rather have missed than, oh yeah, for sure. He just didn't come in the right. I needed him to go below that. I didn't think he was gonna come in. Yeah, he was coming to you. Dang it, that's hunting for you. It sucks. The biggest bull ever. I'd rather hit a tree branch any day.
It's hard to explain when you get on a big bull like that. I've never had an opportunity to shoot one that big, and it was really frustrating to let that opportunity go.
We're basically making a plan for the rest of the evening, and it's getting pretty late, so we're gonna circle back around, kind of head back to where we first started on the hunt. I'm setting up the camera, and literally the bull like walks right down the trail. I see him coming out, go from my dad to the bull. And next thing I know, he just stops, and he's like 30 yards looking right at me. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I didn't feel like I didn't move. Like, I just had this feeling that I just screwed it up for my dad. Like, he needed to step 2 more yards, and he would have had about a 15-yard shot.
And then he turns and walks off up the hill, and that's the last time I seen him.
So I was like feeling very disappointed in myself and starting to really not want to film at all. So we basically have one more day to try to get it done. And on this hunt, Aubrey, my wife, was actually going to come out with us. I was super excited because one, she had a chance to get her first elk, and just having her experience the hunt with us was going to be pretty special. So to start off the hunt, I did not want to film. I did not want to blow any chances. Like, I was struggling with this. Like, I didn't think it was going to happen if I continued to film. So I basically said, I'm just going to hunt. I'm just going to call. And I took my camera just in case, like, this scenario was perfect, that I could potentially hit record. And we started out that first morning. I let out a bugle. Boom, bull answers, and we move in, and I'm back like 60 yards this time. I set up Aubrey, set up my dad, and this bull is just committed, and I can barely see because we're in a very dense area, lots of downfall, and I see the bull coming through the trees. I grab my camera, hit record, and it just unfolds right in front of me. I'll never forget walking up and seeing that bull and my dad, and you know, he was tearing up, and my wife, she was over there about 100 yards away crying, and I remember I went over and gave my dad a big old hug and
Good. Real good.
just congratulated him, and then I went and talked to Aubrey and just tried to calm her down. She'd never experienced an animal dying right in front of her.
You can quit real quick. Okay? Hard to do, but that's what we come here to do, right?
It was just everything that you had hoped to happen in a hunt had all just hit everybody so hard. Just the emotion of what we had just done.
Yeah. Glad I could be here.
And you called him right in.
I want to make sure you get pictures of me and him together.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Congratulations!
It's a hunt that I'll never forget. Everything just, it was against us at the start and just fell right in place at the end.
To me, the most special thing about this hunt was, you know, experiencing it with Aubrey, experiencing it obviously with my dad, but being able to get our first pictures in the field was pretty special to me. And to this day, I mean, I'm sitting here editing on my computer, like it brings me to tears just to know that like this is a real film. This is what it's all about. This is hunting. Doing it with the ones you love. We finally got our pictures together. Such a very important, you know, part of the hunt. And I look at these pictures almost every day, and I'm just like, can't believe that we made it happen. And I'm so glad that I have these pictures forever.